So in the last session, we have discussed about what is Python. Okay, the features of Python, Python 2 versus Python 3, Python history, and why Python is general purpose, where is Python used, Python popular frameworks and libraries, and then installation of Python. Okay, and the IDs and the extensions of IDs like Python and the prettier, etc. Okay, then we have discussed Python fundamentals, tokens. Okay, what are tokens? Identifiers, literals, string literals, numeric literals, in which we have int, float, and complex, and then special literals, which we have none value. Then we have literal collections, where we have list, tuple, and dictionary, and then set, and then frozen set. Okay. Then we have discussed about operators. Okay. We will discuss about operators in detail in the in the upcoming sessions. Then we have discussed about variables, the naming use of variables, the naming conventions. Now we have casting. Okay. Okay. We have data types. Okay. We have a few types of data types like string, then int, then float, and complex, then boolean. Now, if you let's make a variable. Let's make a variable here. A is equal to, let's say, 10. Okay. Now, if you want to convert this 10 into a string, then how will you convert it? Then B is equal to int. Int is a keyword, a special keyword for Python, and int is a function, which will convert your this integer into string. Sorry, here string. String and the name of your variable. Let's say A. Okay. Then let's print it out. Print type of B. Okay. First, the A is integer. Okay. Then we have convert integer into string. Okay. Now the A is a variable which is stored in the 10 value, and the value is integer. Now we are converting this integer into string. Then here string, and then the name of a variable that you want to convert A, and then we are printing the type of V. Okay. Now let me run it. A is not defined. Python file.py. Okay, see. Yeah, let me look at it. See, A is a variable which is containing the value integer, and we are converting this integer into a string. Now this B value is a string. When we print type of A. Okay, now A is an integer, and when we convert this integer into string, it will become a string, and which is storing in the variable B. And then let's see. A is an integer, and when we convert this integer into string, then it is converted into string, class str. Okay, and this is known as typecasting. Okay, this is known as typecasting when you convert one form of data type into another form. Now, let's say if you want to comment it out, name is equal to suppose Python. Now, if you want to convert this Python into integer, let's say you make a variable b is equal to int and then name. Print b. Is it possible to convert this Python into number? Is it possible, Cisco, to convert this Python into a number?
But isn't Python a reserved name?
No, Python is a string. Okay, let me take another variable. Let's say Java. Okay, is it possible to convert this string into a number? Java into a number? Basically, we cannot convert this Java into a number because Java is a combination of alphabets. Okay, so we cannot convert it into a number. So this will gives you an error message. Let me run it and show you. See, invalid literal for int with base 10 Java means this Java is an alphabet and we cannot convert it into a number. But we can do this. Let me comment this out. Let's say A is equal to string 10. Okay, and then B is equal to int A. Sorry, int A. And then print type, first type B, and then the value of B. Okay, now the A contains 10, which is a string. In our form, it is a number, but for Python, it is a string. Okay, because it is enclosed inside these quotations. Now we are converting this integer, sorry, this string, this is a string into a integer. This is an integer value. So the type of value the B is containing is integer. Okay, class int and the print B, the value is 10. So we can convert this 10 into a integer, but we cannot convert the Java into a integer because it is a combination of alphabets and this is a number itself. But in Python form, it is a string. Okay. Is it clear? Cisco, is it clear?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
No. Yeah.
What does type do?
Type it will print out the type of value the variable is storing. Like we have this B variable. This A will contain the value 10. 10 is a string because it is enclosed inside these quotations. So this 10 is the A is storing the value, type of value string. So the type will print out the type of value. Okay, the
Okay.
particular variable is like storing. Like we have A is equal to 10, this is string, and B is equal to int, we are converting this string into integer. So now what we are doing is we are like printing the type of value the B is storing. So B is storing the int variable. So it is like class int. It is displaying the class int. Okay, so type will display basically. Okay, so it will display the type of data that the particular variable is storing. So basically, in this case, we have this type integer. So it is displayed class int, and the value will be in the value 10. Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now then we have this is known as type casting. No. Now we have unpacking a variable, or we can assign. Okay, so in here we have suppose we have make a variable A is equal to, or we can say that A is equal to the name language in Java. Okay, and B is equal to we have another variable, let's say C plus plus. Now, if we want to assign A and B together, then we can do this. A comma B is equal to Java comma C plus plus. Okay, so Java is assigned to A and C plus plus is assigned to B. So this thing and this thing both are same. Okay, this is how you can assign like multiple variables and with the multiple values. But the number of variables and the number of values should be same. Like we have two variables, the two values. If you add another variable here, like value here, let's say PHP. Okay, then it will gives you an error because the number of variables is 2 and the value you are given is 3. So it will give you an error. So we can rectify the error by producing C here. A, B, C. Now C, PHP assigned to C. Okay, and we can use PHP, like C is good PHP. So this thing, this ABC and this one, ABC, both are same. Okay, this is known as like assigning multiple variables with multiple values at the same time. Now we can also do this like A is equal to B is equal to C. Is equal to C is equal to Python. Let's Java. Now in here, Java is assigned to A, B, C both. Okay, like print A, let's say print B, and then print C. Okay, so the Java is assigned to A, B, C. Let me run it. See, Java, Java, and Java. A, B, C. This is also you can assign the variable, but the same value you are assigning to multiple variables. Okay. Now then we have unpack a collection. Yeah. Let me revise the concept. After boolean, we have the list. Okay, the dictionary, the set, or we can say the tuple, and the set. Okay, and then we have the reason set also. And then we have mutable and immutable. So what are mutable and immutable? Mutable data changeable and immutable data unchangeable. Okay, list are okay, so list are enclosed inside square brackets. And they are mutable in nature, means we can change the list. We can change the elements of the list. We can change and update the value of the elements of the list, and we can add and remove the values. Okay. Then we have tuples, which are inside round brackets. Okay, but they are immutable in nature. Then we have set, which are both mutable and immutable inside curly braces. We have both, they are mutable and immutable. Why? Because the elements of the list, elements of the set are immutable and the set itself is mutable. Like we cannot modify the elements, like Apple, we cannot modify the elements of these values. Okay, but we can add or remove the values. Like we can add another value, we can remove the cherry, we can remove another value, etc. But we cannot update the value. We cannot change Apple to something grapes, etc. Okay, so to make this whole immutable, we use frozen set. Okay, now we have dictionaries which are like key value pairs. Let's say we have a name, and then we can put, we can see title. Okay, comma, we have name number 2, and then we have job, etc. So basically, this is key value pair. These are key value pairs, and they are mutable. Okay, we can change. Okay, we can change the items, we can remove and we can add it. These are the important data types. Now, if you want to take the input from the user, then we can, like suppose we have add 2 numbers. Input is completed or not? This input function. User input. It is completed or not? Cisco and Mukesh, is it completed this user input?
Username. It's not.
Okay, completed. Okay. So these are all our fundamentals. Then we have data handling. In data handling, we have same the data types. Okay, we have string, we have int, float, complex, then we have list and tuple. We will see the range data. Then we have dictionary, then we have set and frozen set, bool value, true and false. Okay, which includes only true value and false value. Dictionaries, frozen set and set, yeah. And byte set and memory view. If you want to convert your your string into bytes, like into 0 and 1, then we use this byte array. Okay, then we have none type. No. These are all the examples that we have seen already. Then we have now. If you want to convert your list into tuple, okay, or you want to convert your tuple into list, then we can convert. Let's say we have make a list of apples, orange, and cherry. Okay, then we have to convert this list into tuple. Then how we can convert it? V is equal to, we have to call the tuple, and then the round brackets, and then the name of the variable A, and then print the type of B, and then we can run it. Class tuple. Okay, and when we check the type of A, print type of A, then it is list. Okay, class list, and now this is tuple. And if you want to change this like vice versa, then you can make a variable B is equal to, this is tuple, and then B is equal to, we want to change into list, then list, and then the name of variable, and then print type of B, and then print the B itself. Now that one it. Okay, so class list, and this tuple is converted into list. Okay, this is also typecasting. It is also an example of typecasting. Now, next we have conditional statements, or we can say that control flows. In control flows, we have conditionals, or we can say that decision making statements. Then we have loops. Okay, these are the part of control flows, conditionals and loops. In loops, we have for loop, we have while loop, and then we have do while loop. Okay, in conditionals, we have if statement, we have else statement, we have if else, then we have if elif, and then else. Okay, then we have nested if. Now, what are conditional statements? Suppose you want to, let's take an example. Okay, suppose you want to take, like you want to, suppose you want to identify whether a number is even or odd. Then how can you identify? We can identify with the help of the if statement. Okay, like whether a number is even or whether a number is odd. Like there are two conditions. First is true or second is false. Means whether a number is even or second whether a number is not even. And when the number is not even, the number is odd. Okay, so so here we have two conditions, true and false, even or not, yes or no, 0 and 1. Okay, so in that case, we use only if statement. Basically, we use if and else statement. Okay, when we have only two conditions. Okay, when we have only two conditions to check. Now, we use if, elif, and else. When we have multiple conditions to check. Suppose you want to check like whether like you want to make a grade system. Okay, and you want to like assign a grade to a student, like from 100 to 90 you want to assign A, from 80, 70 to 90 you want to assign B, and from 50 to 70 you want to assign C, and so on. So in this case, when you have multiple conditions, like when your conditions more than two, then there you will use the grids like the if elif else statement. Okay, when you have only two conditions to check, like whether a number is even or odd, or we can say that whether you were eligible for both or not, then this is like you can use if else statement. And when you have multiple conditions to check, like as an example grid system, then you can use the if else as a statement. Now how we can use it? Okay, let me. So in conditional statements, in the we use the comparison operators mostly. Okay, comparison operators. In the comparison operators, we have equal to equal. Here here we are using the double equal sign, not the single equal. And why we are using the double equal, not a single equal? Because let's say one is equal to one. Okay, so this is we are comparing the one is equal to one or not. And here one is equal to one. This means we are assigning the one to one, like when we are doing with this variable. So single equal means we are assigning a value to some variable, and double equal means we are comparing two values. Then we have the not equal, like when we have to check one is not equal to one. Okay, let me check one is not equal to one. Less than operator, less than equal to operator. Here less than comes first and then equal sign. Less than equal means like when we're comparing 10, less than equal to, let's say 20. Okay, means 10 and less than 10, including 10. Okay, and this means excluding 10. Okay, this means we have excluding 10 and this means including 10. Greater than and then greater than equal to. Okay, these are the most useful operators. We use important operators. We using conditional statements. This one and the arithmetic operators. Okay, is that clear? Like what are conditionals? Where to use if and where to use if else. Is it clear, guys? Yeah, okay, thank you. Now, the syntax of if statement. So the syntax is if, first we use the if keyword, the reserve keyword, and then the expression in the column. And then the indentation. This space is known as indentation. And then the statement to be executed. Okay, for example, let's take this example. Num is a variable. We are taking a variable, and then we are taking the input from the user in the form of an integer. Okay, first we have taken the input and then we have converted it into a number in the form of integer. Okay, then if num modulus 2. Okay, let me show the user modulus first before that. So in arithmetic operators, we have plus, we have minus, we have multiplication, we have float division, and then we have float division, then we have integer division, then we have modulus, then exponent. Okay, these are the arithmetic operators. Plus means addition, then we have subtraction. Okay, then we have multiplication, then we have, this is float division, which will give you the output in points, let's say like this. And this is integer division, which will display the output in non-decimal format, like say 12. This is known as modulus. Modulus will return you the remainder part. Okay, remainder part only. And this is known as exponent. Exponent means power. Okay. Let's say, let's take as about modulus and remainder. Let's assign a variable a is equal to 5 and b is equal to, let's say, 2. Print 5 modulus. Okay, when 5 is divisible by 2, the remainder should be 1. Okay, like 2 into 2, 4. And when we subtract 5 minus 4, the remainder should be 1. So, so the modulus only returns the remainder part, not the quotient part, only the remainder part. Okay, when we say this is 4, so 2 into 2, 4. A and B. So 2 into 4, the remainder will be 0. 0. Okay, so there's no remainder at all. So only the modulus will return the remainder part. And the exponent A, exponent B, which means 4 exponent 2. So 4 exponent 2 means 4 into 2, twice 4. Okay, so answer is 8. Okay, so this is 4. Or we can change the value like 5. Okay, so means 4 5 times. Like 4 and then 4 and 4, like this. 5 times 4. So answer 1024. This is exponent, means the power of. Okay, now what we are doing here is we are checking the number, it is even or odd. So we're taking the input from the user, enter the number, okay, converting into an integer, and then if we're using the if reserve word, num, the value modulus 2. Okay, what are even, like which are divisible by 2 is equal to 0. So it is even. The number which is divisible by 2 is even. So we are checking the condition here. If the remainder is equal to 0, because modulus always return the remainder. So if the remainder is equal to 0, then the number is even. Okay, let's run it. Okay, now run it. Enter the number. Let's say 4. So number is even. Let's run it again. Number is 5. So number is, now here we have now put the else condition. Okay, so the 5 is not even, so it is, it does not like execute this block of code. When we put else, print number is odd. Let me run it again. Number 5. So the number is odd. Okay, even if the number is even, then this condition will execute, and if the number is odd, this condition will execute. Okay, this block of code. And when you didn't put this else condition, then it will execute nothing. Okay, it will like enter number 4, let's say 5. So it will just exit the code. Okay. And the else never contain any condition. Okay. Like we cannot do this like num modulus like 2 is not equal to 0. Okay. Means the num is Yeah. So if the number is even, then this condition will execute. And if the number is not even, then this condition will be execute automatically. So we don't need to put any condition inside the else statement. Okay. So else statement never include any condition. Okay, it is like S only and the colon and then the print number is on. If this condition is false, this condition will execute automatically. And if this condition is true, then this block of code will execute. Okay, this is even and odd. So if the condition and then colon and then the indentation here and then the statement. Okay, this is block of code. Block of code to be executed when the condition is true. And what is a condition? Num modulus 2 is equal to 0, whether number is even or odd. And this block of code to be executed when the, when the condition is false. And which condition? The if condition, this condition. Okay, not the else condition. Else always remains empty. Else in colon. Because if this condition is true, then we don't need to like put another condition because we are using the if and else statement. If like true and false, if this condition is false, then this will automatically true. Okay, and it will display. Is it clear? The if and else conditions. Any doubt regarding this? Okay. Cisco, what about you? Cisco, are you there? Okay. Now let's take another example. Okay, now we have to make a program, write a program to identify whether a person is eligible for vote or not. Okay. Now there are two conditions, whether a person is eligible for vote or not. True and false. Like there are only two conditions. So let's take an input from the user. And the input is age. Okay. Like whether if the person is 18 plus, then it is eligible for vote. And if the person is below 18, then it is not he or she is not eligible for vote. So age int and then input enter your age. Okay. And then let's if condition if age is greater or equal to 18. Okay, then we have to print you are eligible to vote. Then else only no condition print you are ineligible or follow. Okay, so we're taking the input from the user and converting it into a 8. And then if age is greater or equal to 18. Okay, this is including 18. This includes 18. Because we have used this equal sign here, including 18. Then print you are eligible to vote and as you are ineligible for vote. Okay, let's run it. age, let's say 18. Okay, so you are eligible for vote. Then again, let's say 12. Okay, so you are ineligible. And then let's say 15. Okay, so you are eligible. So you have two conditions, true and false. If this condition is false, then this will print automatically. And if this condition is true, then this code of log will execute. Okay, this is if and else. Okay, now let's take another example. Okay, now we have to assign a grade to the student. And the grade system is like if grade is, if the grade is greater than 90, then the grade will be A. That's it. Okay. Now let's take a grade, marks from the student. So A is equal to int and then input enter the score. Okay. And then press it. Now, if the condition is A is greater and is equal to 90, okay, then you have to print grade A. Okay, and then else, no condition here, print grade below A. Okay, let's run it. Score, let's say 90. So grade A, say 20, so below A. Okay, and say 95, grade A. Okay, here we are checking whether if the grade is, if the marks is 90 plus and including 90, then the grade should be A. So we are taking it from the user, and this input, this number is 90, is stored in the variable A. Now we are checking if A, the value means this is like when we are assigning, like when we are giving the input 90, then the condition will be 90 is greater than is equal to 90, because this number is storing inside A variable. So A is greater and is equal to 90. So the print grade A as grade below A. Okay. Is it clear? The if else condition. You can also use if without else. It is not mandatory to put else in everywhere, but it is a good practice to like print to give else condition. Okay, every time you use if a statement. Okay, is it clear? If else. Okay. Okay, any doubt regarding this? Okay, okay. Um, okay, if else statement, if condition, the condition the block of statement. Else there is no condition, only else and the another block of statement. This is known as else block, and this is if block. No, if elif statement. If elif is used when you have multiple conditions to check. The syntax is if expression one, your means your condition and the block of statement. Now, if this condition is false, then it will move to expression number two, means the elif statement. Elif, the expression two colon and the block of statements. And this is indentation. And then elif you can use as many elif as you want. Okay, means we can use many elif inside if statement. if elif and the elif condition 3 and the block of statements and the and else. If these three conditions are false, then this block of code will execute the else condition, else block. Okay. Now example, let's take a example here. Yeah. So here number int enter the number. We are taking a number and here we are storing this number into this number variable. If number is equal to 10, then number is equal to 10. We can print this number is equal to 10. If the number is equal to 50, then we are printing equal to 50. And else if the number is 100, then we are printing this block of statement. Else number is not equal to 10, 50 and 100. Okay. Let's run it. Enter the number, let's say 50. So the number is equal to 50. Let's say 90. So the number is not equal to 10, 50 and 100. Okay, so you can use as many elif statement inside a if. Okay, you cannot use elif at starting. Okay, this will give you an error. You can use elif statement inside only if statement. Okay, but you can also use many if statement, like you can do this if and then if. So this is known as nested if. When you are using if inside if. Okay, when you are using like if statement inside the if statement, that is known as nested if statement. But when you are using else, elif, and then elif, so this is known as if elif statement. And you cannot start your conditional statement with the elif statement. You can only use elif statement inside the if statement. And then else. Okay. Let's take another example. Let's take this coding example. Yeah. Yeah. Here we are taking the marks from the user, okay, from the student, and we are storing this in this variable, and then we are comparing. Here we have this AND operator and the OR operator. Now let me tell you what is AND and OR. We have the AND operator also, and then we have the OR operator. We use AND operator. The sign of AND operator is double ampersand, and the sign of OR operator is double pipeline. Okay, this is known as pipeline. Pipes basically. Okay, now AND means if both the condition needs to be true. Okay, means both the conditions okay, so AND means both the condition needs to be true. The left side condition, the right side condition. Means if you're comparing here, marks is greater than 85 and the marks is less than equal to 100. Means the marks will be between 85 to 100. Okay. So the grade will be A. So here we are using the AND operator. It means this condition and this condition both needs to be true. The marks is greater than 85 and the marks is less than or equal to 100. Means the marks will be between 85 and 100. So the grade will be A. And in the OR operator, we use only one condition needs to be true. Only one condition. Okay, either the left side or right side. Okay, so in the OR condition, if only the one condition is true, let's say we are using the OR here. Okay, then this condition and this condition both needs not to be true. Only one condition can be true. So we can we can execute this block of code. And when we are using this AND condition, these both conditions, the left condition and the right condition, both needs to be true. Then only this block of code, this if block of code will be executed. Okay, now the next condition we have if marks is greater than 60, and the less than 85 means between 60 and 85. Now here, like here, including 85 and excluding 60. Okay. Then we have in here we have greater than 40 and then less than or equal to 60. So excluding 40 and including 60. Then the last condition 30 to 40. Then the grade will be C. And then last as you are failed means below 30. This is every number below 30. Now run it. Marks, let's say 40. Sorry, you are failed. Okay. Let's say 35. Your score grade is C. So 30, 40 numbers are C. Then we have, let's say 98. So A. So between 85 and 100. Now let's print 85. 85. So it is B because here we are excluding B and here we are including B. So the answer is like here we are excluding 85 and here we are including 85. So the answer is B plus. Okay. So and means both the conditions needs to be true and or means only one condition can be true. Okay. If the here the both the conditions is true, so only this block of code will be executed. Otherwise, it will move to another block of code. This block. And if any of these blocks are false, then this else block will be executed automatically. So we don't need to put any condition inside the else block. Okay, these are conditions. And this is the block of code. Is it clear? The if else statement. Any question? Any question? Cisco, any question? Thank you. Cisco, any question? Okay. Cisco, are you there? Okay. Nested if statement. Okay. We have seen only indentation are important. Now these are loops we will see. Now let's take another example. Write a program to check whether our number is divisible by 5. Okay, now we are making a program here, like whether a number is divisible by 5 or not. So there are two conditions only, divisible by 5 or not, yes or no. Okay, so in this case, we will use if and else statement. Yes. You can send your code on the chat box, or you can mail me, or you can send me on the WhatsApp. Okay. So basically now int input, enter the number. Say here we are like checking whether the number is divisible by 5 or not. So like if now the number, let's say we are taking this 25 number here. Number modulus 5 is equal to 0. And then print the number is divisible by 5. Else print the number is divisible by, so it's not divisible by 5. Okay, here we are checking the whether number is divisible by 5 or not. So we are taking an input from the user and storing it in the num variable. And then if number modulus 5, so modulus will return the remainder part. And if the remainder part is equal to 0, then the number is divisible by 5, as the number is not divisible by 5. Okay. And the number, let's say 35. Okay, so the number is divisible by 5. Let's say 2. The number is not divisible by 5. Okay, now let's take another program. Here, now here we are checking the condition whether a number is divisible by 5 and 7, means both. Okay, and let's take another example here. Write a program check whether number is divisible by 5 or 7. Okay, so there's a difference. So let's take a variable, number 2, number 1, int input, enter the number. And then we are taking a, here we have to use n, so end. So if the number modulus 5 is equal to 0, and you can use ampersand also, or a single ampersand, or you can use and also. So num modulus 7 is equal to 0. Then print the number is divisible by both 5 and 7. Then we have else statement where we use print the number is not divisible by both 5 and 7. Okay, the same code here in here with the 5 or 7. Here we will use or. So here this either this condition or this condition needs to be true. So here the number is divisible by 5 or 7. Here or 7. Or okay. And name the change the name of the variable one and one and okay. Let's run it. number. So let's say 35. Okay, so the number is 35 is divisible by both 5 and 7. Okay, so the number is divisible by 5 and 7. And again, let's say 35. So the number is divisible by 5 or 7. Now let's take another example. Let's say 25. Okay, so the number is not divisible by 5 by both 5 and 7. Actually, yeah, by both 5 and 7. And then let's say 25. So the number is divisible by 5 or 7. You can modify this line according to yourself. Okay. Now here I wanted to explain you the difference between and or. So here we use and operator and here we use or operator. Or we check only the one condition. If the one condition is true, then it will execute this block of code. And if the both condition is true, then it this and will execute this block of code. Otherwise, it will execute this else block. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. So I will share you this file and the notes file, okay, and the video after the session. Okay. Now tomorrow we will see the loops. Okay, so 3 types of loops. Okay. So any doubt regarding to this session?